great. Starting. Stream health green.
You are live. We're good to go.
Awesome. Let me check this. I should have got the notification.
You ready to tweet it out?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to pop up.
Is it freezing up?
No, I just don't have the...
Oh, there we go.
I just don't have the actual thing where it says...
It's just lagging on here a little.
SmartMarks. Could be just a delay. Here we go. It says one watching.
You think we need to change the resolution?
No, let me see. I think we're good.
Here we go. There's one watching. You think we need to change the resolution?
No, let me see. Let's see how that looks. That's a good test.
Right?
That looks good.
God.
Your face.
Good
That's
shit.
awesome. Cool. Looks good.
Look, there, it went through on there. Alright, we're good.
Alright.
I'm still not moving. Maybe I'm the problem.
No, I think we're alright.
I look like I'm dull.
TJ was like...
You're like buffering.
Actually, TJ was like just perfectly still the whole time. So
Just doing the mannequin challenge here in the background.
So I got that. Poke my nose. Got that good.
You're using the snowball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold your fucking clerk's comments to yourself.
Save them for the show.
Good to go.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Smart Marks Podcast.
Welcome to the Smart Marks Podcast. Your weekly look into all things professional wrestling. No matter if it happens in a square, circle, an Aztec temple, or a six-sided ring. Here is a ring of SmackDown.
Guess I should have to do it.
You're fine.
No, you're fine.
The thing, it's the label's off. You're okay.
All right, everybody. We are back to live streaming, folks. We are I can finally say it. We are live from the studio apartment. Is that trademarked? Or can I
I think Studio Apartment is trademarked, actually. I don't know if we
No
can actually say
shit.
that. Yeah. I don't I
edit
think,
that out? Oh, wait, we're live.
I think...
We're going to sound like...
I think Colt has a thing on that as far as...
We're going to sound like Psycho Sid. Remember where he tried to correct himself on WCW? And they're like, we're live, buddy.
Yeah, we're live. You can't fix it. Speaking of Psycho Sid, available today in the Legends Pack.
God, like, I'm not excited about that
DLC.
pack at all.
With Eddie Guerrero?
That's the only reason I want to
Tatanka?
download it. Nope.
Tatanka.
Eddie Guerrero is the only reason I want to download it.
Tatanka. I don't even have the game, but I would be excited for Tatanka.
No, it's just the same
Psycho-
fucking pack as last
Psycho
year.
Sid.
Psycho Sid,
This is
20
the
years
first
ago
time-
yesterday, defeats Shawn Michaels for the
If he could break his
WWE.
fucking leg in the game, I'd be happy.
Is this not the first time Psycho Sid's been in a WWE game? I feel like it actually
I
is.
think
As
he might
far
have
as as far as
before.
like 2K. Holy shit!
Maybe.
Cancer 30 as hell.
Maybe he has. I don't know. It's not. No, you know what? Here's what I want to do: is I want to take a fucking Psycho Sid face scan and put it on Kevin Nash model with the curly hair, and you have that fucked up mask that he was wearing in WCW. Remember when he'd come out and mock Psycho Sid, and he'd wear that rubber mask that looked like
yeah,
Sid?
yeah, I
and
do
that's the one
remember
where
that.
Sid comes out and he's all, "You're half the man I am, and I have half the brains that you do." And that's when fucking Hall and Nash both lost their shit in the ring. Guys, if you're not aware of it yet, we're at the Smart Marks Podcast. That's what you're watching. There's a new face in front of us. I don't know if...
Old face actually.
No, I don't think...
what's old
a
is
new
new again.
voice. Or
New
an old
voice
voice.
Or on the ProvenGamer.com side.
Well, I don't think he's been on any of the live streams with us.
Oh
with
no,
us.
not
not
been
at
on
all.
the live
Never
stream.
been a part
So
of
it's
the
an
live
old
stream.
voice, new face. TJ's in the house, and there's a reason why TJ's with us tonight.
There is a reason.
Call it fate. Call it, hey, he's just fucking down for Thanksgiving. But I say it's fate, considering that Paul London has signed with
With
Lucha Underground.
He's part of the
And this fucker's here.
Rabbit Tribe.
Yeah.
Isn't it, I forget the actual name of the
Little group.
group that it's called, but it's like the Rabbit
Yeah.
something. For the longest time, I kept seeing those promos, and it's been Paul London in my face the whole time, just never snapped. Can't get my fingers snap. That it was Paul London.
Yep.
Did you know that it was Paul London?
I
all the
didn't.
time? Yeah.
Did you know that it was Paul London?
Call me crazy, but Paul and I don't have the greatest relationship in the world. So, needless to say, he wasn't thinking, man, I'm joining Lucha Underground. Let me call TJ up and let him know what's going on.
So, we've told the story multiple times on the podcast. We'll definitely tell it for the Proven Gamer crowd that hasn't listened to it yet.
Third time.
Third time this is going on the podcast. TJ calls me. Tells me he wrestled some asshole that he hates. So this guy was a dick, worked stiff. I hate this guy. I fucking doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
It wasn't that he worked stiff.
And then he was arrogant.
I tend to work stiff.
You were pissed that night. It was so great.
I was a little pissed. I
said, what's this guy's name? Paul London. Like 2 weeks later, who's debuting on SmackDown? Paul London.
Yep.
Been the best thing ever, and it's always been like a thorn in like... I don't know if it's a thorn in your side as much as I make it a thorn in your side. I probably jab at it and twist it more than I should. But it makes great podcast material.
It's a good story.
It's a great story to tell. Does it bug me a little bit? It bugs me a lot a bit.
Fuck Paul London.
Because, like I said, we had this encounter, and... whatever it was probably miscommunication on both of our parts. I think I covered this in, the first podcast ever.
I think so, yeah.
But I worked a little stiff. He took a little exception to it. I talked to everyone before we worked and, talked about, hey, I'm going to work you a little stiff. If you airmail me anything, I'm not selling it. He airmailed a couple things. I didn't sell it, and then I came in a little stiff, and all of a sudden... here came Paul London, pissed off, and, there was a slight backstage confrontation. I might be playing that down a little bit, but yeah, so it's just sort of been one of those hatreds. I think had he not debuted in SmackDown 2 weeks later, it would have been cool.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, here he comes on SmackDown, and it's like, you know what? Fuck this guy.
It made great creative character video game beef for Here Comes the Pain or whatever game it was that he was in.
I think there were 3 of them over here.
Yeah, we had, and it was a fucking rivalry between him, Paul London, and Scotty 2 Hotty that would not fucking quit. It was the Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, just stick them together when you need a good match.
I think it was the original Raw versus SmackDown when you were either just graduating high school or you were still in high school that we were playing. And me and Scotty 2 Hotty had a 10-year feud going on. I mean, some bullshit like that.
Is Scotty 2 Hotty one of the downloadable characters, or is he already in the game?
I thought he was probably already in the game.
If he is, then we just need to bring TJ in and see if the computer completely renews that.
Yeah, he just put him into career mode.
I think it's some code written into the video game as per Paul London's contract. I'm pretty sure if you ever create me on any sort of Lucha Underground game, me and Paul London just automatically go into a feud as well. So.
Oh, fucking A.
Well, speaking of Paul London and Lucha Underground, we got a new Lucha Underground champion.
Goddamn right we do. Sexy fucking Star.
That's pretty amazing.
Is our Lucha Underground champion. The first female Lucha Underground champion. Which is, Lucha's been going a while, so it's easy to say it first. But goddamn, we've got a major champion, female champion in a company. That's super cool, in my opinion.
It's pretty rad.
Overdue?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. We're barely in a spot now in 2016 where we're having women headline pay-per-views. We're having women headline Raw often. And we're having them, first ever Hell in a Cell match. Becky Lynch is calling for the first ever women's TLC match. We're getting these first evers. Now Lucha Underground, and now I'd like to say Lucha Underground follows suit, but they did it before WWE.
They did, actually.
Because this has been filmed for a long time.
Been over almost a year old.
We all three can sit here and claim that we've known this for quite a while.
Yeah.
We've just kept tight-lipped for the podcast because we don't want to spoil anything for people. But Sexy Star is our champ, and it's really cool to see companies like Ring of Honor having the Women of Honor, Shine and Shimmer getting major play, and now getting stuff on Flow Sports. They're actually going to be front and center now.
Yeah, featured on Flow.
And now the women's division is flourishing in both. Granted, there are still setbacks in WWE, but it's better than it's ever been. And NXT is now a breeding ground for potential women's champions in WWE or in SmackDown and Raw at some point. You're right. It's not just overdue in that one sense, but this whole women's revolution, pro wrestling wide, it's not just WWE. Pro wrestling wide is overdue.
No,
and just sort of looking into the future on that, and I know we've had some discussions about it, but do you see a point where women's wrestling actually eclipses that of the traditional WWE wrestling? Because I know a lot of times when I'm looking at an NXT pay-per-view or I'm looking at a WWE or Ring of Honor or even Lucha Underground, I'm really looking forward to the women's matches. There's some great matchups, and there's some great athletes out there. And I feel like at times when we look at things that go on in, the men's genre of wrestling, we've seen a lot of it. It's rehashed storylines. It's things that we've seen before. When we really get to like the women's aspect of it, it's all fresh and new to us.
Yeah.
And they're doing innovative things. So I know looking out, a few years down the road, I can see where, hey, I'm actually more excited to see a Sasha Banks Bayley match than I am to see, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins for maybe the 14th time.
Well, this is the thing: is 80s, 90s, and I would even say 2000s. Women were not built in the caliber in physique to necessarily be the level that WWE was looking for. WWE was the land of the bruisers for so long, the land of the big guys. Women were eclipsed by that because that's what they pushed down our throats. Now we're in this new era of wrestling and WWE where it's all about high flyers, quick matches, people who can pull off these crazy moves. We look at guys like Ricochet who are finding their way into WWE, guys like Apollo Crews, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn that we never thought would be in WWE that are all front and center with this new main transition in style. That's why women are flourishing so much. Is that new style has changed. We're not looking for the big bruiser matches. We're not looking for the giants against each other as much as we were. We're looking for fast-paced, entertaining matches, and women can deliver that now with that style. And let's throw it in there. We have trainers. We have world-class trainers in WWE. With Sarah
Del Rey.
I was looking for
D'Amato,
right? Yeah, Sarah Del Rey, Sarah D'Amato, whatever the hell her real last name is, who is training these women. So I mean, great start with Fit Finlay getting in there and pushing them. But now we have people who can tailor that style to where we need, and that's why we're getting that class. Is that whole transition of change of what we wanted as fans, or what we were told we wanted as fans, has changed.
Right, and I think if you look. If you really look at the evolution of wrestling and where it's going in the next, like I said, 5 to 10 years, you can really look to companies like Lucha Underground. You can look to companies like Ring of Honor and, like you said, Shine, Shimmer, all of these sort of lower, I don't want to say lower caliber because they deliver excellent matches.
Hell yeah.
Every time you put on a YouTube clip of what they have going on, it's far superior to what WWE is delivering. But I think something we're going to see moving down the road definitely is a lot of great women's matches. But I think we're going to have a lot of great tag matches as well. I mean, if you look at the tag team divisions in the independent scene right now, to go back and realize, hey, China did this in 2000 and 2001 when she held the Intercontinental title as well.
Absolutely. But again, China was a bruiser too. It took a special breed of woman for that to happen.
I agree.
Because that's what Vince was after. It was a once in a lifetime to get someone, twice in a lifetime if you count Nicole Bass.
Nicole Bass.
Here's a question for you guys. Over under, what do you think it would be? How many years before we see a WWE women's tag team division?
I think as far as that goes, I know that's been a question that's been brought up for the past 2 years, but even then when it was brought up, Bayley with the Bellas, I felt like it was still really far out of the picture. Now it's definitely more of a possibility, but I think we need to, if that's going to be any sort of case, not only do you need to unify that division once again, you need to beef it up, but you got to double that roster.
Well, that's got to be what we're kind of working towards with NXT, because there's a major influx of new women coming through NXT.
Yeah.
With Liv Morgan, we talked about Liv Morgan being pushed through the pipe as quick as she could. Like, all of a sudden, she's NXT in the Performance Center, but it's just been, I feel a major push is coming. I don't know that that's why. It could be just to beef up the divisions, period, because even with where we're at on singles divisions, both of them are still a little lacking. They just need more women involved. And
I mean, we got probably seven
probably
on each side.
7 or 8 big names on each one.
As far as that goes, I think if we're gonna do tag team, I can totally envision it happening. You gotta recombine the roster and.
Well, and if you really think back to the early '80s, what was the tag team? It was usually two singles wrestlers who still needed development. They needed some work. And they really used the tag team division to make their name. Bret Hart was not Bret Hart until...
After he was done with Jim Neidhart.
Right, until after he was done with Jim Neidhart, and the Hart Foundation really had their success. Yeah. So, I mean, I can definitely see us moving that direction. I don't know that I really see the tag team division happening anytime soon for the women, just because you really don't see any major promotion doing it. I would actually go out on a limb and I would make a a bold prediction that we will see a women's heavyweight title holder in WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor before we see any sort of division.
So guys,
I take you up on that. I think it'll probably happen in TNA.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love TNA, and I love what they're doing. Got to watch it this past week, and I'm glad that I did. But as far as all that it did, I'm amazed that she didn't even hold a women's title there, because it's Dixie Carter, and that's the thing.
Dixie walking into the meeting and being like, "So, Bubba Ray, tonight you're putting me over.
You're putting me over. I'm putting you through the table this time.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna break back." So yeah.
Would you rather see Dixie or Billy Corgan?
Dixie.
Yeah, pretty damn accurate. If you'd like to make it full circle.
Can I just say fuck Paul London? Have
If
I
we
said
haven't
that
said
yet?
it
That we
already.
already have plenty of
Okay.
time.
Can we get that hashtag trending?
Hashtag fuck Paul London.
Hashtag
And then he's
fuck
gonna
Paul
wonder
London.
why. Just why? What did I do to these people?
I'm barely coming back to Lucha Underground.
Fuck's with you guys. You guys don't love me.
So,
So we had two little events happen this weekend.
yes, we did.
You want to start with the first of the two?
Yeah, we got a TakeOver Toronto. Took place Saturday night. Overall, I felt a really good show. I don't know. Did you get to watch Toronto TakeOver?
I'm
yet?
through like the first half of it. I had to work Saturday night, but I did catch a little bit of it on the network. I'm a little. I feel like anytime NXT does a takeover, whether it's Toronto, anything like that, that we as the internet wrestling community get 10 times more worked up over it than it's worth. Like, I'll read the tweets at work about how great this match is or how great that angle was, and I'll go home and watch it, and I'm sort of like, yeah, that was all right. And I will preface that by saying that I did not get to watch Joe Nakamura yet, so I feel like I won't be disappointed when I actually watch that portion of it. But the internet wrestling community tends to do the proverbial shoot their load over the NXT results, so...
I don't know, man. That tag team title match was amazing for me.
It was great.
I love
I will
DIY.
give it that.
I love the story that they told in the ring. That was such a great match. Now, I wasn't as huge of a fan of the Dusty Rhodes finals.
Yeah, that was a little...
That match was definitely clunky. I didn't really enjoy that quite as much.
I just feel that Authors of Pain and TM61 are just totally mismatched as far as teams that could work each other.
Right.
And Authors of Pain are still a very young team, and I don't know the actual backstory of both guys. If there's a situation that they didn't achieve success in.
Bad booking to have two tag matches on that card.
Not bad booking. I think as far as
I would say almost bad booking in the
bad booking
championship
as far
match.
as the Dusty Classic, the finals being like I would not have picked Authors of Pain to even be in the finals. How to get them out of the finals, that would have been a difference, because I mean you put them in and all the other guys in that tournament were like the finals being like I would not have picked Authors.
Right.
They're built for, they have the size built for the main roster. Now as far as do they have the talent for the main roster, that's a different story. But I can see why they're there.
I can see
Vince
Sanity
wants-
being there more.
Yeah, the Sanity I think should have. And granted they lost to TM61.
Right.
Maybe they were in the wrong bracket.
I
on
think
side
that
of
was the
brackets.
bad side of booking. They should
So-
have been on a
Yeah, it
different
goes
side
back
of the bracket.
to bad booking. I mean,
Yeah.
was it?
I
Should
don't
they have
think-
thought out the bracket a little more?
I think
Yeah.
the bracket should have been thought out. I don't think it was bad booking to have the two tag matches. I just think that the bracket was not as well put together as it should have been.
Yeah.
There are some teams like I would have even. I mean, I don't know. There was just some teams that should have made it further that would have made more sense to me. Especially the Dusty Classic being, the best of the best. We gave it to Joe and Finn last year. Granted, they weren't a tag team, but they were two of the best singles wrestlers in NXT at the time, and they deserved that rub. But we're gonna give Authors of Pain that rub instead.
I think if Austin Aries had not got hurt, him and Roderick Strong would have.
I think so, too.
Because why bring
agree.
Roddy Strong?
I
in?
agree.
Why bring Roddy Strong in to lose in the second round?
What I'm kind of shocked about is, not finding a better replacement or anything for Roddy Strong. Not getting someone in there that could have worked with him.
So what happened was they filmed the first round of the tag matches a month before the second round.
Yeah.
So they were playing catch up, and all the second round happened. I think sometime like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it was second round, third round finals, and that's what we got.
Would it not? And I understand we wanted to get Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger in there, which was a decent match. That crowd fucking... I would say the MVP of Survivor Series is Ty Dillinger. Would you not? Especially as much as Canada. And I'm saying Survivor Series, not NXT. Because Canada loved Ty Dillinger.
So much so they kept cheering for him the next night.
Yep. Every time a referee would count 1, 2, it was 10, 10, 10 every single time.
A 10.
A fucking 10. But granted, that match, we've been building towards that match. But would it not have made more sense to scramble and throw Bobby Roode in a tag team with Roddy Strong? Like, that would have... Granted, they've never, been major tag teams together. But it would have been great storytelling for him to bail on Ty Dillinger and then show up as a mystery partner for Roddy after Aries got hurt.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious. And I expected that from the get-go with Aries. After he bailed on him, I'm like, well, then that's the mystery partner. And it turned out to be Roddy Strong, which is amazing. But I expected him to show back up. I mean, that would have been perfect storytelling. And then you have, even if they don't make it, have him make it to the finals and have Dillinger cost him the match. Because of what he did to Dillinger, That would have been better storytelling, in my opinion. But we instead scrambled and went with the Authors of Pain.
Right.
Because we're going to mimic a match from the 80s with Paul Ellering in a shark cage.
Right. So you can sell it on Walmart.com 5
And
minutes
fucking-
after NXT goes off
Thank
the
you.
air.
That was where,
was-
Jesus Christ, like, we're selling that fucking toy right now.
Yeah.
So,
Damn it. Like, that's got to be the reason why they brought that match
Yes,
in, right?
obviously.
Is to try to sell that toy more.
but here's the thing. How
Son of a bitch.
many kids watch NXT?
Outside of this house?
Like outside of my kids, like they watch
Yeah.
wrestling, but they don't watch NXT.
Not
like
as many as
they
watch
have no,
WWE.
Yeah, they don't care about NXT.
No,
like
NXT
I care
is-
about NXT. You guys care about NXT because we're all marks, and we get the Roddy Strongs and the Ty Dillingers and the Joes and
My 5-year-old can
Nakamura's
name more
and-
NXT theme songs than she can WWE. I'm just throwing that out.
She also
But again, I agree
she also
that...
likes to dab on TJ Perkins.
Yeah, so my daughter, we're playing NXT songs. I was telling him before you got here, we're playing NXT songs in the
Yeah.
car to see how many she can guess. 2 nights ago, we played TJ Perkins in the car, and she goes, I don't know who this is, but I like the dab of it. Being a smartass. And then again, we played it last night, and as soon as it comes on, we go, who's this? And she doesn't answer. She just goes, like, seriously?
And with that, the dab is officially over.
Yep.
Dead.
I don't know, man. Let's run through the results.
Revival. I'm in the wrong show here. I thought we had our predictions on here, but where is it at? What's today's date?
It's going to be last week's episode.
New show and show. Thanksgiving show. That's what I have it marked as. Bobby Roode defeated Ty Dillinger.
How am I more prepared for the show than you are?
Jeremy
He's
texted
over-prepared. That's a
The
problem.
Authors of Pain defeated TM61 to win the Dusty Classic. Team DIY defeated the Revival to become the new
damn.
NXT Tag
I
Team
have a hard on
Champions.
for that so bad.
One of the best matches I've ever seen.
Anyone with a better social media right now than Tommaso?
Right?
No, fuck
Anyone?
that.
Right.
Any wrestler? Any?
No,
anyone
wrestling.
even
No,
close?
definitely not. Asuka defeated Mickie James to retain the NXT Women's title, and Samoa Joe defeated Shinsuke Nakamura to become the 2-time NXT champion, first time ever in NXT history.
Shout out to you, Mick, Tricky Mick, for blowing up our Facebook. Pissed
Oh,
off
Mickey
over
was
it.
so pissed.
I am so... Okay, your
Mickey-
opinions on Nakamura losing.
My opinions on the whole Joe Nakamura series is they just both need to go up to the main roster already. I feel like they're being there and having this, like, don't get me wrong, their matches are great. I mean, it's great to watch them, but I would rather watch that on the main roster and give these young guys time to shine. I mean, Joe's been down on NXT for close to a year now, a little over a year.
I think it's going on 2 years.
Is it 2
Yeah.
years?
He was there when he was there. Owens was still there,
Yeah.
Right.
and he made his
you
debut.
are correct.
So
So, I mean,
he actually
There's
made the
no-
save.
there's
Yeah,
no
exactly.
There's no point in Joe being in NXT still. There's no point in Nakamura being in NXT still.
Well,
So,
apparently
I mean,
Vince
that was-
big on Nakamura right now, so he may be getting the call.
Nakamura's entrances are amazing. Can you imagine getting a Nakamura Balor match and those entrances? The internet wrestling community just
fuck.
losing their...
It's been about a year and a half. Joe made his NXT debut May 20th, 2015.
Yep.
At NXT TakeOver.
Damn, so Kevin Owens hasn't been on the main roster that long. That's crazy to me. Like, I expected him even longer than that.
Well, he did split time in NXT.
But it wasn't
and-
long that he
There was
split
Yeah,
time.
it
there was
wasn't
3
long.
months,
And that was my argument because Mick was pissed off text messaging us that Joe won. He's like, he just needs to get called up already. Like, right, but he's, we saw this with Kevin Owens. He split time with the title. He was the first one to actually bring the title to Raw. Big E Langston split time. he was the NXT champion when he got called up as Dolph Ziggler's bodyguard.
Right.
But he never brought the title onto Raw.
Same with
And then I was going to say Seth was, and Bo Dallas was, I think, at one point too.
No, I think Bo Dallas.
Bo
He may have been
Dallas
one of the only ones to not.
I think Bo Dallas was the only one that did it. Well, it was the first one to transition that didn't take the title with him. But Seth was there, and he transformed from his wrestling character to his Shield character, all out the title. So, yeah.
But
yeah, because they called him as NXT champion.
They had Big E running as heel on the main roster.
And then
But
face.
he was babyface.
Remember when Big E would force the ref to count to 5 instead
yeah.
of 3? Because he was just that
That's why he
damn
had
good.
the song. Like,
Yeah,
he had the
3 ain't
song.
enough. I need 5.
Yeah.
I loved TakeOver. Like, it was a great event.
TakeOver was awesome.
You know what? Mickey James still had it. Like, I mean, granted, she hasn't
we
been
shocked?
gone that long.
Are we really shocked?
No,
like
fuck
she was
no.
probably one of the better female wrestlers of her
Absolutely.
era.
I was just, it wasn't shocked that she still could come in there and perform, but it was just maybe at that level. Like, I expected her to show a little tiny signs of rust because she has been gone for maybe
From WWE, she's been gone for a while.
I'm not talking WWE because I know she's been gone a long time from there. I'm talking about just from wrestling, maybe a year,
Maybe.
a year and a half, maybe. Last storyline I remember being part of is when James Storm shoved her on the train tracks and tried to kill her.
Oh, that did happen.
Yeah. Goddamn TNA. Gotta love it. But she was amazing. She held her own with Asuka.
Oh,
And
she did,
may
yeah.
have looked better than Asuka in that match. And fuck, I hope we get more. of
Yeah,
Mickie
like
James.
Triple H said, Mickey James WWE future is in the hands of Mickey James. So.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I like the idea of bringing in some of the, and I don't want to say older talent because by God, Mickey James isn't that old.
Right.
But I like the idea of bringing in talent to face some of the NXT talent. A, because it gets them over and does it in the right way. I feel like Mickey James putting Asuka over. I mean, Asuka, by God, is one of the best female wrestlers WWE has. And I think I texted you this a long
One
time
of the
ago.
best wrestlers in
when I
general,
watched, I watched Becky Lynch in NXT. I was like, God, this girl can just go.
Yep.
And I sort of feel the same way about Asuka. Is she can just go.
And that's the thing. That's why it made sense for them to bring in Mickey James. And we may see this for a little while. I almost wouldn't doubt if our next challenger for Asuka is another legend or somebody.
It's not even that big of an age difference. Actually, Mickey James is 37 and Asuka is 35.
I knew Asuka was up there as well. But, getting these people who've been in WWE before who are veterans to come in there because NXT right now, we've talked about the women's division flourishing and growing, but it's not to that level that Asuka is. Asuka's on a different level above them. So bringing in these women who have been there before and seeing them, Asuka testing herself against them could be something that we see as a lead-in to the main roster. And I would be happy with that if that's the route they go. I mean, that would be fun for a little while to watch.
Right, I completely agree with you that there's a lot of talent, but there's a lot of raw talent.
Yeah, nobody's on that same level.
Right, there's no one on that same level with Asuka at all. So I feel like if you start to run some of these women up against Asuka, it's just going to be, it's not going to be beneficial for either of them. So bring in some of the names for a while and allow them to work Asuka, get her over, while some of that raw talent continues.
Because that's how you book it as well. You get that talent to get in the place where they need to be while she wrestles these outsiders, and then you have somebody. Yes, Hall and Nash are going to come in and go after her. You're going to get the Hall and Nash of the women's division coming in there.
Who would be the Hall and Nash of the women's division?
I always said
would
that
it be Alundra Blaze and
I always said Tamina. Oh
Not
God,
either.
I always said Tamina was my Lady Diesel.
Yeah.
So. Because she was out there with
But
AJ.
wouldn't it have to be from someone
I think
outside
that'd
the
be-
company? Like, yeah, would it be like AJ and Alundra Blaze coming in and just like power bombing Bailey through?
Well, soon it'll be AJ and Paige.
Yeah.
I think granted Paige ever comes back.
Yeah, right. But to get that person to that level, and then you could have that person take issue with the fact that they're not giving these title shots to women within NXT, and that's the person who she drops the title to.
Yeah.
You get at least one person to that same level as her. She makes that claim, she drops that title, you have that feud for a little bit, and then she goes to the main roster.
Yeah, I think as far as the next one, like close on that ladder right now is going to be Ember Moon because
I think so.
Yeah, I think she's the only one that has as much momentum with the fans and actual in-ring talent.
That's the thing is the in-ring talent. She's probably on the same level
there.
in-ring talent-wise as Asuka. We just have to get her more well-known with the fans.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on over to Survivor Series, which happened Sunday night. The Team Raw women's team defeated Team SmackDown Lives The Miz defeated Sami Zayn to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Team Raw Tag Team defeated Team SmackDown Live's Tag Team Survivor Series, whatever you want to call it, match. The Brian Kendrick defeated Kalisto by DQ with Baron Corbin, help from Baron Corbin to retain the Cruiserweight title and to keep it on Raw. Team SmackDown Men's Team defeated the Team Raw Men's Team, and Goldberg defeated Brock Lesnar. And what? Yeah.
So let's do we want to make the point now that you missed every one of them?
Oh, isn't that amazing?
You missed
I was
it. I mean, we've done it
completely wrong.
before. We've both done it before.
I was completely.
I think WrestleMania this year, I missed every single match when I
Yeah.
texted you my
Yeah.
We were, and you know what? I'm happy when this happens because it means it wasn't predictable.
Yeah.
We thought we could predict it, and they threw us for a loop.
But was it not predictable, or do you feel like WWE went with we weren't predictable for the sake of being not predictable?
There
on these
was
matches?
there was some spots where they tried to make it Survivor Series, anything can happen. And I texted you that early on in the first match I was there, that I felt like we're definitely going for the anything can happen thing here. So when we started seeing women like Becky Lynch get eliminated early.
Well, Sasha got. Well,
Sasha,
Becky,
yeah.
Becky got eliminated first or last, but Sasha.
Yeah,
was
Sasha
I think
is
she
who I'm
was the
thinking of.
second member of
Yep.
Team Raw to get eliminated. Seeing that, you kind of figured like she'd at least be in the top last two. You know, maybe Bayley would have been, but now we kind of see where it's going.
I liked that at first, but I felt we leaned a little heavy into it, which wasn't a bad thing per se.
Yeah.
But it's
Same thing with the tag team match.
Yeah.
With Kofi getting eliminated.
Yeah, the
right
New
off
Day
bat,
getting
yeah.
eliminated right away. Like, holy shit! Like, who would have saw that happening?
Did not. Yeah.
But I mean, seriously, what was some of the appeal for Survivor Series when we were growing up? Like, I don't exactly know what you guys remember about Survivor Series, but to me, like, growing up, Survivor Series was always the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like, this was long before Sunday pay-per-views, so...
Goddamn gobbledygooker.
The gobbledygooker. You would watch on Wednesday night, and it was 5 or 4-man tag team matches, depending on how, WWE wanted to book it that year. And it always had some sort of intrigue. They built these matches. So I was glad to see him get back to a little of that. But I still felt like even as, an 8-year-old watching that, it was predictable. You knew Hulk Hogan's team was going to win. You knew these were the people that were going to be eliminated. This wasn't a strong person on this team. So it just goes back to were we being unpredictable, or was WWE being unpredictable for the sake of being unpredictable? Or are there going to be further storylines going off this?
There's got to be, because this, as much as Survivor Series was a major pay-per-view, it was also a stopgap leading to 2 upcoming pay-per-views where titles were being defended. So we got that definitely on the SmackDown side with dissension between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. We got that on the men's side with dissension between AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. We saw that play out through every match on the SmackDown side. Not quite as much with the Raw side, but it was happening. But it was, as much as we don't want to admit it, it was a bit of a stopgap between pay-per-views. And this match was, as much as this pay-per-view was a Survivor Series, it was more of a bragging rights pay-per-view.
Yeah, because
they made it more minor.
And the big thing I kept seeing online was like, what are they actually fighting for other than just bragging rights?
That was it.
They would have been nice to, besides the singles matches for the titles, it would have been nice to have some sort of wouldn't it have been better if Vince was in the picture?
Yeah.
And kind of just been like, hey, if Team Raw wins this match, they get this. If Team, you know what I mean? Like,
do you guys remember, God, it's probably 20 years ago, when it was, they did the Ultimate Survivor match where whoever wasn't eliminated from this team, they all did one big match at the end of the night. And I think it wound up Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, and Tito Santana against basically every single heel that the WWE had. I think that would have been a great match for this.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I think that would have been a great idea for this Survivor Series, was have all of the survivors from Raw in the several tag matches end up against all the survivors from SmackDown, and maybe we end up with a number 1 contender for a belt or something like that. But, I remember watching basically Hogan and Ultimate Warrior run roughshod because Tito Santana was the 3rd person eliminated in that match against, 14 heels. But, basically watching them run roughshod over a tag team, which I could be wrong on this because, granted, I'm 3 beers in because, fuck Paul London. But I think that's what actually led to like Hogan Warrior at WrestleMania. It was sort of the start of that feud where they were the two biggest forces in WWE. So would that have made more sense from a booking standpoint? I know, we talked about Vince maybe being more in the picture, but would that have been something that could have helped out the pay-per-view?
You know what carrot you could have dangled out there? The winning team gets X amount of draft picks from
the next
NXT.
draft, yeah. Oh,
Or even from NXT. Yeah. You get to call it 2 members from NXT if you win this. And
or even just pulling like from the other side.
Yeah.
Like if you guys win this, then you get a draft lottery.
Granted, there's not much incentive for the wrestlers involved, but there's incentive for the general managers. And then that general manager could create incentive. You guys win, each one of you get a title shot of your choice. That leads into a TLC match. You get up more than one person, make it a Money in the Bank style, an Armageddon TLC match, if you will. There would have been much more trickle down that they could have had.
I think as far as they probably didn't think that far ahead into it. Like I like what they did.
Yeah,
I like that it was Team Raw.
It was fun. Don't get me wrong.
And now that we're kind of like sitting down, now we can kind of nitpick what we like and didn't like about it. The parts being like, what was the actual outcome of this? Just besides bragging rights,
there was no solid outcome really, though. That's what's kind of sucked about this. Is this again? It was,
but I think it was a nice. Let's dip our feet in the water and see if the fans like it.
Yeah,
which they did.
I agree with that.
Next year, if we're keeping this roster split alive, then that's when we're going to start
leaning in heavy.
Yeah, we're going to go in heavy and throw some things in there.
Yeah, because this was definitely furthering storylines for other guys. We got further of the Baron Corbin storyline. We furthered the women's storylines throughout the entire match. Same thing with the tag team division. The men's for sure. And then we ended up with more storylines coming out of the Intercontinental match with Daniel Bryan. Because that's all pushing something towards Daniel Bryan and the Miz in some form. But that's all this was, is a spot for us to... It was a pay-per-view that if it wasn't a major pay-per-view could have been a really good SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah.
If we didn't have the theme of Survivor Series going. That's all this was, is just a push towards, hey, you guys should watch or you guys should watch TLC and you should watch Roadblock because you guys are getting them for free because you signed up for this anyway.
Yeah.
And it was making, for the people who signed up for the 1 month for free, it was giving them the best bang for their buck to move on to these next 2 pay-per-views in order to get them to sign on and continue subscribing for the next few months.
Hasn't that been the ploy of WWE Network, though, basically, since its inception? We're going to give you a month free and...
Make this... Yeah. We're going to bait you into seeing what happens next. And that's 100% what happened again tonight.
I mean, that's just wrestling in general, though.
That's what happened again tonight when we announced Goldberg was going into the Royal Rumble. Because guess what? January isn't free. So we're going to set our storylines. We're going to start leading into Royal Rumble, and you are going to give me your money for Royal Rumble. That's how that's going down. But it was fun. I didn't not enjoy anything other than the I didn't even have issue with the Baron Corbin interference until JR pointed out and said on Twitter, like, this guy's unfit to compete, but he can interfere in this match with no problems.
And that's actually not even really JR.
Oh, was it?
It's a parody JR account,
which is still spot on.
Which is hilarious.
I saw you tweet it.
That's where I got that because I liked it because I was like, this guy makes sense because you can always tell the fake one says sauce it at the end.
Oh, I didn't even see
and
that.
Ross, he has never.
I never got that.
I think there's a portion where you can go with the Baron Corbin angle with that, where he was too injured to compete, where he can basically play the angle that he said, I'm too injured to compete, and then went and interfered in the match. So I can see it sort of even advancing the Baron Corbin character, although it doesn't make sense now. It can make a little sense down the road where he is the lone wolf. He doesn't want to be a part of the team.
Would you, storyline-wise, have fired him that night and had him show up on the opposite show the next night?
Yeah, I mean, Daniel said he was going to do something else.
I'm going to deal with you on Tuesday. And I didn't get to finish SmackDown before we started recording to see what it was. So. But would you have wrote him in to be fired on the spot at Survivor Series and then had him show up as a lone wolf and outsider almost on Raw? Like, that could have built his character a little more.
I think it could have built his character anymore, but I'm willing to see where we're going with it.
I am
too. If there's no sort of evolution of him as a character, because I feel like he's been stale for a little while. Like, he came in, he wins the Andre the Giant, Battle Royal.
Well, we got him and Ziggler shoved in our face for 6 months, pretty much.
I agree. And so I want to see if they're going to evolve his character, or if this is just one of those, hey, it was just a really bad booking decision.
I know, I want them to do something with Corbin before he loses all his hair. Like we're kind of really, it's really thin.
Our time
right
is
now.
running out, right?
We're literally running out of time.
How is
It's so
Corbin
close.
not a part of the Wyatt family yet?
To me,
Like, it's the most obvious booking decision.
I
Like,
thought
they
it-
wear
yeah.
the same garb out. Like, if you saw what he wore to WrestleMania, where he had, like, the gaiters, it was like, oh, this dude's obviously going to join.
They have all the same hairlines. I mean,
It's there.
Just
Why
do
are we
it.
not taking advantage of it?
yeah, I like the guy, and I'm in the same book there. You
Yeah,
know?
we are.
So-
I am. I'd say we all are, but not you, dickhead.
But yeah. So no, I hope they do something with Corbin soon before.
I hope so too.
Because I mean, the character is getting stale, and as far as like how many more times can he, revenge rape
He's not-
Kalisto in the
He's
locker
not
room?
bad
He's not
in the
bad.
ring.
No,
His move is the shit. I love the deep six, which
Yeah.
is basically Abyss's move, right?
it was Deep Six, and then the End of Days.
The end of days.
Yeah.
But the deep six was the same thing as Abyss's, wasn't
Yeah.
it? What did he call it? The black hole slam?
Black Hole Slam. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you just mentioned him
Revenge.
raping Kalisto. Anyone else, like, find it fucking hilarious that Jericho showed up on Monday night with a Kalisto mask?
Oh, Sin Cara mask.
Or Sin Cara
Yeah.
mask, sorry.
They all look the same to you, don't they, TJ?
They all do.
Trump's America.
This is Trump's America. This is
Did
my
you-
president.
Did anybody else? Because I didn't get to see all of Raw because we went out to eat Monday night. But did you? And I caught up on it as much as I could. Did anyone else catch fucking Enzo walking around naked?
Yeah, like
Yeah. Best thing ever.
Actually, like, of all the things, my kids, like, think nakedness is, like, the most hilarious thing
All
on
kids.
earth.
All kids.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, you
Especially
say,
boys.
You
I
say,
mean, you
like,
have three boys.
Yeah, I have 3 boys, so you, like, say the word fart around them, and it's, like, a 30-minute laugh fest. But, yeah, that's all I heard about when I got home Monday night was, before I actually got the opportunity to watch Raw, was about how Enzo was walking around naked and apparently hitting on Lana. So,
Rusev walking her off with her eyes covered.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, that was good.
I
Good
love
stuff.
Cass coming out there. He's also he's walking around naked in the hallway. We got a problem here? He's just so pissed off.
I liked it. It was good. It was good. Wrap it up. Survivor Series. Goldberg.
I was gonna say we buried the lead here, haven't
Yeah,
we?
we did. We definitely buried the lead. Goldberg defeating Brock Lesnar. This is like the biggest news of the week. But I like the fact that we can actually sit here and talk for 45 minutes without even having to worry about
Yeah.
whether or not we.
Well,
should
this
bring
match
up.
wasn't our favorite match coming into it. Was it one of our favorite outcomes coming out? Possibly, just because it was shocking
Yeah.
and it got everybody talking.
Well, they literally they did the New Japan thing, where people became so just complacent with how matches were going to go. Like, just used to title matches going for 30 minutes, and then they would pull a stunt like where the guy would lose in 2 minutes,
Yeah.
or even like in less than a minute. So, and then
We all
even
expected it.
with the old Goldberg route. I mean, that was something that WWE never did when they first had Goldberg. They never had the Goldberg style match.
You text me, and your words exactly were, we got
we got the old
WCW.
WCW Goldberg,
Yeah.
which is exactly what, as a fan, I want. It's
What
what
we
they
needed.
missed the first time around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never wanted Goldberg fans when he was first around in WWE. They didn't want the Goldberg that was going to have a 10-minute match. They wanted the Goldberg that was going to go out there and destroy somebody in less than 5 minutes.
Problem is that they
Entrance
right away
included.
had to put him up against guys like The Rock,
Yeah.
Triple H, Jericho, guys that were established big names. And were you really going to have those guys lose in under 10 minutes to him? No. So they booked him poorly coming in.
Oh no, it was bad
And
booking the whole time. Well,
You brought up a hell of a point because we talked about him getting announced for Royal Rumble. And I text messaged TJ and I said, I would bet that Lesnar will, because the whole talk of this is this finish was all Lesnar's idea. He pushed for this to happen because he saw more money in a feud, in a longer feud with him and Goldberg. And he wanted to cash in on that. So he pushed for this quick finish to happen, which, by the way, rumor is only Vince and Trips and the guys in the ring were aware of this. So everyone backstage was just as shocked as we were when we saw this happen. But I brought it up to TJ. I said, if we're going to push this feud out, Lesnar cost Goldberg the match at Rumble. He cost him winning the Rumble, and then we get a rematch at Mania somewhere. And I asked him, I said, is this Goldberg's first Rumble, or did he do it again? He brought it up, 2004, Goldberg was in the Rumble. Mm-hmm. He also pointed out Lesnar cost Goldberg the Rumble in 2004.
Lesnar jumps in, he F5s him, and, I mean, horrible selling.
Lesnar was
Goldberg.
champ at the time too.
Yeah.
Because the next pay-per-view he lost to Eddie
So yeah,
Guerrero.
Lesnar rolls out, and of course, starts to taunt Goldberg, and Goldberg calls him a son of a bitch. And as he's sitting there, yelling at Lesnar, here comes Angle from behind and dumps him over the ropes, costing him the Rumble. So you had brought it up that was a possibility in this whole scenario of, bringing it up at Mania. And then I actually went back and looked, and yeah, that's exactly what happened.
We're getting it again, right? And not even necessarily for the bad thing. We're doing it right this time.
Are we getting it again?
Maybe. I don't know. Where else could we see it happening? Roadblock? I mean, where else are we going to get the two of them together?
It's going to happen at Mania, and I think it's because why you're not going to blow your load like at the pay-per-view before Mania.
Maybe, and you know what? You might get a rematch with them at Roadblock because it's a new pay-per-view, and you might want to try to draw attention in it. I would say it's a 40-60 chance that happens, but
I don't think we get it at Roadblock. My sort of thought behind it, and I went with your idea, was that we get Goldberg in the Rumble, but who's to say Lesnar doesn't get a heavyweight title shot by then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does Lesnar win the title at the Rumble, and now we have Goldberg-Lesnar for the title?
Remember,
after Goldberg wins the Rumble?
Wasn't last year's Roadblock, it was Owens and Lesnar?
No.
Roadblock was Owens and Ambrose, wasn't it? Yeah. And that was for a title, wasn't it?
No.
No, it wasn't? No?
It was
Let's
Roadblock. Make sure that we're...
No, Roadblock was Triple H versus Dean Ambrose for the title.
Thank you, that's what it was.
And I don't think Lesnar's going to get the title. And I think to finish out the series, I'm going to put it down right now. Lesnar isn't going to beat Goldberg at WrestleMania. Goldberg's going to be 3-0 against. And that's going to be the thing that sticks to like Lesnar. That's going to be Goldberg's shtick, I think.
God, it was so cool.
But I think it's cool. I think it's
But do you spend the time to actually build up Lesnar? Because they spent the time to build up Lesnar to defeat Undertaker's streak. Like that is what Lesnar carries with him wherever he goes. He is the man who broke the streak. Do you take the time to build him up in the streak and build him up as a beast, and he's basically unbeatable? Yeah, he lost in 46 seconds to Goldberg, but with some clever booking, it looks like a fluke. Like he took Goldberg, not seriously.
He pulled a Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz on him.
Basically, yeah. So, do you go through the process of showing someone like Goldberg, who he probably has a Hall of Fame nod coming?
Yeah,
and that's why he's working. That's why he's working till Mania.
May not be this year, maybe next year.
I would think it would probably be this year, but regardless, do you spend that time building him up so that Goldberg can defeat him and then say, "Hey guys, thanks. I'm going to go accept my Hall of Fame nod"?
I don't know, and I almost, as much as I want to say we're going to get Lesnar Goldberg at Mania, I almost don't know because there's rumors about a month ago when all this Goldberg stuff started swirling that people within WWE are looking towards trying to find a way to have Goldberg versus Taker at Mania. So we may get, if it goes like Matt says and he goes 3-0 against him, that would be a good claim for him to go against Taker. And we would have that match sooner rather than later. We would have the Lesnar Goldberg match.
I think as far as
unfortunately, it may not be the match that we want.
As far as I think, like any buzz, as far as
like
a Taker last match, I don't think is going to happen for another 3 years.
Goddamn, we should have had fucking Travis in here tonight to explain to us how somehow Taker and Goldberg ends up in Sting, or not Taker and Goldberg, Lesnar Goldberg ends up in Sting and Taker.
Yeah,
because he's always, every time he gets in here, he's got the craziest fucking theories, and some of them have been
come true,
so out there that they've come true.
Yeah,
Travis watches wrestling at church. Just throwing that out there.
Yep. Yep, and it's not even fucking
spoiler alert.
And he's not even watching Shawn Michaels versus Vince versus God.
Oh yeah. So are you guys okay with the finish? Goldberg versus.
I'm 100% okay with the finish.
I think it's the perfect finish. I think it was the perfect finish. Goldberg's he's not in shape to give you a 15-20 minute match.
Yep.
That's book a 15, and that's exactly what me and Jeremy were so more so me. Like I was totally worried about like the fact that I do not want to see these two guys go for more than 10 minutes because to me, I'm already just expecting it.
Well, that's why it was a pleasant surprise. Say we got like CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, two guys that we were dying to see against each other that could go at it, and we end that match in 2 minutes. Fans revolt, but instead you've got two guys who were dreading watching, and we end that in 2 minutes. It's a pleasant surprise.
I think it's perfect. And this is what I told you. We get WCW Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we get a match which was, I mean, obviously way better than the WrestleMania match the first time.
Fuck, right?
Oh,
so,
easily, yeah.
I mean, and it was a minute 28. So you got Goldberg being WCW Goldberg. You've got, Brock Lesnar being beat.
Being cocky.
You've got a match that we didn't expect. You've got a match that played to both of their strengths because Goldberg couldn't have given you more than 10 minutes in the ring.
No. Not when he's getting blown up in his entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all he's doing is walking.
Listen, I mean, we criticized WWE a lot for their booking, but that was
This was good booking.
That was
And
perfect
I
booking.
like the idea of a cocky Lesnar going into the match and getting his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
Because that's going to play into the whole hype videos and everything leading up into the next one.
Yep.
The
Absolutely.
only
'Cause I like
thing
what
I
they do
did
with
not
that.
like about that entire match
He's probably saying what I'm about to say.
is Heyman standing in the corner
Begging him
begging,
to stop.
Goldberg to leave him alone when he should have been encouraging Lesnar to get up.
I did see tears out of his eyes.
That was a weird angle, right? Like,
It was
just,
like that's the point where I watched it and I was just like, that makes no sense.
There's
because
sometimes
he's,
where Heyman's so full of himself. Like I think he thinks like whatever he can do.
Well, but we
is
do
no
that
wrong.
as internet wrestling community. Like he walks out and he grabs the mic and we're like, oh, that was the best promo ever. So I mean, we sort of feed that ego a little bit. And Heyman is a great wrestling mind as
He
long
hasn't
as
been
he's
on
not
fire lately.
as long as he's
this
not
feed was a
actually
little off,
running, a company. Like he is a great
Exactly.
manager.
Hey, speaking
Definitely.
of, ECW entire library is now available on the WWE
The entire
Network.
library. And last night after Raw, they had the unauthorized
I saw that.
story, which was pretty cool to watch.
I haven't watched it yet, but I saw it's on
It's a
there.
good watch.
So I got a question for you guys before we lead into, and I've been meaning to ask this on the show for a while, and I keep forgetting. But before we lead into questions from the fans, I got a question for both of you. We've now come accustomed to the NXT call up. If we were to institute an NXT call down, who would you nominate for that?
Paulo Cruz. Paulo Cruz.
I
easily.
can't argue with that.
I
I mean,
honestly can't.
I
either.
love Apollo Cruz.
Right.
He's a great wrestler.
But we're not doing anything.
There's nothing going on with him. They did not develop his character at all. He should have had at least a title run in NXT because he came in with all this hype as Uha Nation, and people knew him.
Yeah.
And they were excited to get him. And granted, I think the hype train didn't follow with him as far as his debut into
But we could have
NXT.
built that hype train.
But it could have happened. And I see someone that Vince can totally get behind as
He's
far
a big
as
guy who
Apollo
can work the
Crews.
way Triple H wants him
Yeah.
to.
And it's that perfect blend for who maybe Vince and Trips can actually agree on. Because I mean, Kevin Owens being champ, that's all Triple H.
Fuck yeah,
That's not,
right?
I'm sure Vince McMahon was probably like, no, let's not do it.
He's
Let's
fat.
put it
He's not the Big Show. Big Show's only fat man.
put him on Roman. Roman's doing good.
He wears wrestling shorts to the ring.
Yeah, so like
Yeah, exactly.
So there's guys that are definitely Trips guys, and there are guys that are definitely Vince McMahon guys. And Apollo Cruz is a nice mix right there.
I love that we're all pretty much in agreement on this.
And I
Because
love Apollo Cruz.
Well, I have two I would like to throw into that picture.
who's your other one?
I'll throw two, and they're both from the Raw side. I would throw not
Eddie
Adrian
Guerrero?
Neville, sorry. No,
Eddie
yeah,
Guerrero?
I'll throw Eddie Guerrero in there. I think Curtis Axel would be a great call down.
You see, and they tried to do that, and I don't
And
know why they
didn't
abandoned
stick with it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
abandoned it.
I
That's
also think
insane.
Bo Dallas would be a great call down. I feel both of them are sort of struggling to find their niche in
Bo Dallas is growing a goddamn beard. Can we not just assume he's going to join the fucking Wyatts at some
I'm
point?
surprised it
How
hasn't
long
happened
have we
yet.
been
Uh-oh.
I think there's so much.
I just love that
So
fans
much
on the
potential
internet
between
are clamoring for that now that he's growing a fucking beard. Like, that's the big thing, the big rumors that I see on Twitter that these people come up with, these fucking marks. No, I'm just kidding. Come up with.
fucking marks.
What's that face? Anyways,
That's our whole audience, man.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Everyone just logged out simultaneously.
Oh my god, smart marks are dead. I'm just kidding, guys. I was being a smart ass.
Jeremy didn't even
But-
call you booger eaters. He just called you marks.
God, I remember that shit. On Twitter, the big thing I've seen going around is people are speculating that he's growing a beard. He's going to end up in the Wyatts. Do you really fucking want Bo Dallas in the Wyatts? Is that something you want? You want quiet voiced Bo Dallas in the fucking Wyatt family?
I think Bo
No.
Dallas has great mic skills, and I could see him in the Wyatt family, but it's
I
not,
love what
it's
he-
not going to happen.
I love NXT Bo Dallas. I'm better than you, and let's all be peaceful together, and then let me underhandedly kick your ass.
Yeah.
I
The
thought-
whole
I thought,
hypocrite side of it was amazing.
First call up like Bo Dallas,
Yes.
where he basically did the same thing, where he ran around and talked smack, and he beat everyone, and then
He ran with his thumbs out. It's fucking
and then
great.
and then did the whole victory lap. I thought that was a great gimmick, and then all of a sudden we just kind of decided
he loses to R-Truth, and then the push is done.
Yeah.
So. We did get a question from Alex. Wouldn't it have made more sense to move the Cruiserweight division to SmackDown since 205 Live airs right after anyway?
That's what's
Also,
happening,
which
right?
is going to premiere next week. Also, I think the Cruiserweights would be booked a lot better on SmackDown Live.
Can I answer Alex's question real quick?
We're all going to answer, but you can go first.
Okay, let me go first. Fuck Paul London. That's what I have to say about cruiserweights.
That's it?
That's it. That's all I have to say.
I thought this is where we were leading the whole time. And I think maybe they didn't do it because the writing was so on the wall with it.
Yeah.
But it was... I thought that's where we were headed with 205 Live. Now you're going to book those guys. Granted, a lot of those guys travel back-to-back with Raw SmackDown anyway. But we're now going to book those Cruiserweight guys on
So what's
Raw
going to happen
and then showing up on 205 Live.
So they're going to be on Raw, fly down to Orlando the next day, or wherever they're from. Or you think they're going to be booked on this? They're going to run with that SmackDown team.
From what I understand, was the booking for
because
this
it's showing after SmackDown.
The booking for this
live
was in tandem with SmackDown, which again I brought up on last week's show that it should be recorded before SmackDown with a hot crowd and then aired afterwards.
Yeah.
So I get the idea. 205 Live at fucking Ryan's. Let's go with it. But
I could honestly see this happening too. They have Cruiserweights they take to Raw, and Cruiserweights they're going to keep for Tuesday in Orlando.
Probably. I can see that happening
I would
too.
see them doing some sort of taping schedule almost similar to NXT where they come in and they tape 3 or 4 weeks worth of shows.
Live, TJ.
Live,
NXT
TJ.
It's
Live.
Yeah. Live is an easy word to manipulate. So
live.
I don't know, but I can see your point. I could see guys going to SmackDown for 205 Live, and then you having like titles defended, like enough for 2 matches on there, because we do have a wealth of cruiserweights. I mean, for fuck's sake, we just brought 32 of them in, and we have guys that fall into the cruiserweight division on both sides of the roster. So
yeah,
what do we do?
What do we do
with fucking? Apparently, they talked about Sam. Okay, you brought this up. Let's gripe about Sami Zayn and the way he's booked in Canada. Like, why is it a thing in WWE now that we're going to fucking destroy you in your hometown? Why is that now? And not necessarily hometown, but now hometown country.
That's been something that's been going on for a while. You can even think back to when, and one of the first times I really noticed this was when Paige came up. And I don't remember who she worked in England, but of course the crowd's hot because it's her first call up. I mean, we're in the first couple months of Paige being called up. And she loses in England, and it made no sense. And I think it was to like Alicia Foxy or something. Like it made no sense. But I mean, that goes back to WWE's booking decisions.
Losing is one thing,
where they talk about losing doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter whether you lose on TV. Like everyone remembers the wins. And if you really think about any sort of lead up to the booking, even Seth Rollins, like before he became champ and cashed in at Mania, he wasn't really like tearing it up on TV.
Right.
Like he lost to Randy Orton at Mania 2 hours before that. So losses to an extent, really don't matter. We don't remember them as much as we remember wins.
I'm not upset with the way Sammy lost at the pay-per-view because at Survivor Series that was a heel loss. That makes sense the way Miz won. That was perfect booking. Fucking loved every bit of it. But we're gonna book him on Raw against Braun Strowman to where he gets beat down to the point that Mick Foley has to come in and stop this match.
I like the idea that he was booked in that match by management as punishment. Like they didn't watch the match and actually saw what happened.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb, right?
Like,
he was winning that match. He was winning that match, and then now we're gonna punish him.
That's the part that doesn't really like if I told TJ, I want you to go do this for me, and somebody goes and fucks it up, and I know they fucked it up for TJ, and then TJ comes to me, I didn't get it done. TJ, I'm gonna punish you because you didn't get the job done, even though I know it's not your fault.
Dumb, right?
Dumb.
Fucking terrible booking.
While we brought up Braun Strowman,
did you?
Who's Braun Strowman's first loss to? I've got a theory on this, and I'm going to throw it out.
I've thought for the longest time it was going to be Joe.
Yeah. That
you bring him up and you bring a monster just like him up there. Joe has always been a beast. I have said for the longest time, like I would figure Joe's the guy to end his run. What do you think?
Do you bring Joe in as a face to do that?
I think so. I think you would.
I think he works better as a heel.
I think he does work better as a heel, but I think you do the same thing like you did with Bobby Roode when you brought him into NXT. You have him run as a face for like 2 matches, and then you have Joe showing up on Raw. You were not going to get a heel reaction out of him. That fan is, regardless of what happens, the fans are going to pop for him. So you lean into it, and then you have him like get their trust and twist it and shit on him. That's exactly what Bobby Roode did. We brought in Bobby Roode because we knew he was going to be hot when you came into NXT. You did not make him a face or a heel right away, and then you had him in his speech lead in as a face and halfway turn start shitting on the crowd. And right as he had him in the palm of their hand, they were done. I think Joe could do that as well. And I think that's the only way you book him. You have him win that, and then like have him show up at a pay-per-view as like an open invitational or something. He beats him, and then the next night on Raw, he shows up and just shits all over the crowd. The crowd is so happy to see him. People make their fucking Samoa Joe signs for the next night. They go out there excited, and he shits on that entire crowd. and it makes him even more of a heel than he was before.
If you guys get into
But you're right. You're absolutely right. He does work better.
Jeremy loves the bad guy.
Fuck, I always root for the bad
He
guy.
loves himself some bad guys.
Isn't that the way to do it as a mark?
He loves himself some heel Samoa
heels.
Joe.
I got a heel fetish.
Samoa Joe.
Take that.
So, okay, my theory on how that happens, I'm actually saying they bring back Angle to do it.
Yeah?
I've got a feeling. Like, we heard that talk of Angle about this time last year where he comes back and gets his last WrestleMania run. No one is talking about it.
They've said...
You bring Strowman out at the Rumble. You have him... Whether it's go out in sort of old honky-tonk man fashion, send me out an opponent, I don't care who it is, and Angle's music hits, I feel like Angle's the one that takes him down.
Whether or not it's Angle or not, that's exactly how it's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's going to be out there, I've destroyed everybody back to that you sent me. It's going to be at a big pay-per-view.
Well, Angle's been in big talk again lately because 2K17's habit is that they bring in somebody for the cover athlete or for the downloadable, like the pre-order athlete that is not in the company. And Angle is one of your only ones left that you can reach out to that is
not
still in
Angle,
good shape.
Tatanka.
Fucking Tatanka.
Actually, I was just thinking about who's going to end Strowman Street? Cena. It's Cena.
No, Tatanka. I think there's a better.
I was such a Tatanka mark back in the day.
There's a better chance of Tatanka ending it than Cena.
If his music hits at Rumble, I'm like so jumping around my house doing the.
You're gonna get a fucking.
Put it down in the books.
You're ready for that. I hope you're ready.
Put it down in the books. Goldberg's going 3-0 against Lesnar at WrestleMania. Tatanka is ending Braun Strowman's streak.
If they both happens, I quit this fucking podcast.
And on that note,
I will appear on.
Notice how he ends it before anyone can argue.
The next time I appear on this podcast, I will be shirtless if that comes.
All
true.
right, we're holding it. Yeah, okay.
We're gonna be on fucking audio only then.
So on that note, guys, you guys ready?
Yes.
My hairy nipples are not that offensive.
Remember, Marks, you can send us your questions by sending damn it. You can send your questions or comments and follow us on Twitter at @smart_Marks. You're also more than welcome to follow us on our personal accounts as well. You can follow me at Mateo83. Follow Jeremy at JVader82. You can follow TJ at
T Frederick.
Like us on Facebook. There you can interact with us and other fans of the show. Send us your favorite wrestling related memes. Just no dick pics, please. Tired of those. Ask some questions, go crazy. You can also follow us on Tumblr and Instagram. If Jeremy would stop sending them to me, then we can have something really to complain about. And if you're living off the grid and avoid social media altogether, you can still email us your questions too. smartmarksquestions@gmail.com. Again, that email smartmarksquestions@gmail.com.
TJ, that email.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh my God.
Head on, apply directly
Hold
to the
on.
forehead.
It was thinking, fuck Paul London. That's what I was thinking.
@gmail.com. Remember, you can stream, download, or
probably
rate the
owns
show via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and ProvenGamer.com. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating and leave us a funny review that I can read on the show. Hey, while you're at ProvenGamer.com, you can also check out other podcasts such as Trophy Horrors, Remember the Loot, PG Spoilers, and The Good, the Bad, and the Microtransactions, which is a pretty funny... Yeah, that's a good podcast. You guys definitely check all those out. Also, there's a plethora of game reviews and editorials that make ProvenGamer.com your one-stop shop for everything gaming and wrestling related. Thanks again for listening, Marks. I am Matt. He is Jeremy. And that is TJ. We'll catch you guys next time on the Smart Marks. Peace out.